Welcome to edupediaworld.com. Today we are going to talk about various musical instruments. Because these musical instruments, each of them produce different kinds of sound which are very soothing to us, and we love hearing such sounds. So let us talk about how these sounds are produced. Each of the musical instruments are different from each other and they produce different kinds of sound. So how are these sound produced? But before that, let us first talk about the relationship between wavelength, time period, frequency, because this is what we studied in the previous video. So let's just revise. Relationship between mu and t, that is the frequency and the time period, and we have discussed this in the previous video also, that frequency and time period are inversely proportional to each other. If the frequency is if the time period is high, then the frequency will be low, and vice versa. Now also let us also talk about relationship between lambda and t, which is wavelength and time period. So we know this very common formula, which is velocity is equal to distance divided by time. So distance, here distance is lambda, because lambda is what? Wavelength, and wavelength is nothing but it is the distance. So that is why we say that distance is equal to lambda, and time period is t, which is, we say time is t. So if we just put these values in the formula, then we will get velocity is equal to lambda upon time period. So this is what we get, and so we can say lambda is equal to velocity into time period. So hence we know that the relationship between lambda and time period is lambda is equal to velocity multiplied by t, that is time period. So these are various relationships which you must know in order to calculate. If the values are given, then you must be able to calculate what is mu, what is lambda, and okay. Next is also what is the relationship between amplitude and loudness. How are they related to each other? Now the relationship between loudness and amplitude is this. Loudness is proportional to square of amplitude. So let's say if we say that the amplitude is 2, then the loudness will be, loudness is equal to 2 to the power of 2, and which we get 4. So what do we mean by this? If amplitude is doubled, then the loudness will be 4 times. If we double the amplitude, then loudness will increase 4 times, right? So now again, if we take another example wherein if I put the value of a here, say let's say 4, so loudness, if I increase the value of amplitude by 4 times, then it will be 4 to the power of 2, that is 4 into 4, 16. So loudness will be 16 times. If I increase the amplitude by 4 times, then loudness will be 16 times. So this is the relationship between amplitude and loudness. So, and how do we express the loudness? Loudness is always in decibels. Decibels is the unit in which we express the loudness. So we know what are the relationship between amplitude, loudness, lambda, mu, and time period. Now with this information, let us go ahead and talk about various musical instruments. How are these sounds produced in the musical instruments? Why are they different from each other? Now, as we all know that there are various musical instruments that we must have seen or used. So let's talk about these individual instruments. See, this first one, what we see here is a dholak. So what does the person do? The person generally taps on either side of this dholak, and that's how the sound is produced. This is a drums, and this is a synthesizer, and harmonium is this. This is sitar, this is guitar or violin, shehnai, this is guitar actually, this is tabla, and this is trumpet. So we have seen that each of these instruments are different and they produce different kinds of sounds. So what is it that makes these each of these instruments produce different kinds of sounds? Let us learn each of them one by one. We will just pick few. So let's first talk about guitar. So right in front of you, you see is a guitar. So what do you see in a guitar? You see that these are the strings, and the strings are stretched because at this end also, at one end also, they are tight over here, they are connected here, and on the other hand also they are attached here also, and these things are very very tightly connected at both the ends. So when these stretched strings, when a person moves them, what happens is they vibrate, and these stretched strings, when they vibrate, they produce sound. So it is because of these two ends, when the string is stretched, vibrating strings, they produce sound. So that's how a sound is produced in a guitar. Now one thing you have to keep in mind, that whenever something vibrates, there's a sound produced, but it is not that every time we will see these vibrations with our eyes. Sometimes we just don't see these vibrations, we just feel these vibrations. So some are visible vibrations, some are not visible. So in these cases we can see the strings of the guitar vibrating, and that's how these vibrations we can see. And in a guitar, it is because of these stretched strings and vibrating strings that the sound is produced. Now if we take an example of veena, in this case also it is the same. We have these strings which are fixed at each end, and if you keep it loose, then if you keep these strings a bit loose, then the sound will not be that accurate. But if you keep it very tight at both these ends, then these again these stretched strings will produce sound when a person moves them. So the principle by which the sound is produced in the case of guitar, in the case of violin, or in the case of veena, they're all the same. It is because of these stretched string that the sound is produced. Now let's see, talk about another musical instruments, tabla. Now you see, tabla has got these membranes, the white and the black color, and on both. So these are the membranes. So what happens is, what do you see? How does a person plays tabla? He generally taps his hand over tabla and some kind of sound is produced. That is because when he taps his hand over these black, and then this one black, and this is the white membrane on both the instrument, these two instruments, then what happens is this membrane vibrates when somebody taps it, and this vibrating membrane then produces sound. So but in this case what happens is, we cannot see the vibration, we cannot see the membrane vibrating because it is flat. So what happens, if you want to feel the vibration, generally what should you do is, if you tap tabla, immediately after tapping tabla, you should just put your hand over the membrane, so you will feel that the membrane is vibrating. So this way you can just feel the vibration, you cannot see the vibration. So in case of tabla, this vibrating membrane will produce sound. So in both the cases, in the case of guitar and in the case of tabla, the principle by which the sound is produced is totally different, right? Now again, take the case of dholak. What happens in the case of dholak? A person generally taps on both the sides of these. This again is a membrane on both sides. So a person taps here and on the other side, and that's how the sound is produced. So again, in this case also, it is the vibrating membrane. It is a membrane which vibrates in order to produce sound. So you see, both the principles are different in both the instruments. So let's now talk about another musical instrument, which is the flute. So you see how the flute looks like. It's a cylinder, it's a wooden cylinder with a few holes over it. So how does a person play the flute? Generally what happens is, he starts blowing the air from one end, and if you see you will find that the person is continuously moving his fingers. So what is he doing? He's opening and closing these holes that you see these holes here. So many holes. So the person fingers are on these holes. These are called as nodes, and he's continuously opening and closing these holes. So how is the sound produced in the case of flute? In this case, you don't have any strings which are vibrating so as to produce sound, and also you don't find any kind of membrane in this case. So how is the sound produced? There has to be something vibrating so to produce sound. Yes, what happens is when a person blows the air from one end, now because there's nothing inside the flute, it is a hollow cylindrical wooden cylinder. What happens when he blows the air is inside this column, and now because there are these small holes, the air generally comes out of these holes, whichever hole is open, right? So this stream of air, when it comes out of these holes, this entire stream of air is now vibrating. So in this case, it is neither the membrane nor the strings, but it is the air column which is vibrating inside the flute. Now you see, in the case of flute, what happens is sometimes the pitch is increasing and sometimes the pitch is reducing. So how does a person does that? How does it happen? It is because the pitch in case of flute can be increased or reduced just by merely opening and closing these holes. So that is why if you clearly observe a person who's playing a flute, he is continuously blowing the air from one end and he is opening and closing these holes with his fingers, right? So that is how a sound is produced in the case of flute. Right, let's also talk about, you must have seen some transport, some auto rickshaw. They have these similar kinds of horns. The person generally, there's a rubber ball at one end, and then this is some kind of tube over here. And what he generally does is he presses this rubber ball, and immediately you hear a sound. So how does it happen? In this case, what happens is when he presses this rubber balloon or rubber ball, when it is pressed, immediately the air is pushed inside this column. And similarly, like what we studied in the case of flute, the air column, when it is pushed inside this column, the air is now vibrating, and this vibrating air then produces sound. So that is how, you must have seen some of the auto rickshaws. They generally, if they have these kinds of instrument to produce sound, this is the principle how the sound is produced in some of the vehicles, right? Again, you must have seen some musical bands in some marriages, and they have a similar kind of instrument. This is it. They generally blow the air from one end here. From here the air is blown, and the air then passes through this entire tube, and then what do we hear at the other end? We hear sound. So that is again because this air, when it enters inside this tube, the stream of the air is again vibrating. So this vibrating air then produces sound, and that's how we get to hear sound, right? So this is how various musical instruments are used in order to produce different kinds of sound. So thank you for watching Edupedia World videos.